There was supposed to be a path through, but I can't find it. But there's supposedly some pyramids right there, some pre-Columbian pyramids. So I am going to get the drone up in the air and see if I can A, see the pyramids, B, see if there's a path through.
I was making my way to what seemed to be the largest pyramidal structure in the complex.
These bones. Looks like people dug right into this hardwood.
Welcome to Pillars of the Past. For those that are new, my name is Raul. I'm an explorer and independent researcher, and this channel focuses on boots-on-the-ground adventures to little-known or unknown archaeological sites, and finding their place within the historical record and exploring the mysteries of our ancient past. Welcome again, and with that, let's check out this site. There are several ancient sites peppered throughout the Casma Valley here in northern Peru. Prior to the last decade, most of the archaeological sites in this area, like Cerro Sechin, Janquillo, Sechin Bajo, and Sechín Alto, were all attributed to the Sechin culture. And the dating on the monumental architecture in this valley and at those sites was said to have started around 1800 BCE. But all of that is changing, and it's changing in a big way, but we'll get to that shortly. I wanted to go here, to this site that looked like a colony of pyramids. In fact, it was labeled with nothing more than pre-Columbian pyramids. Along the way, the main road through the valley took me here to the site of Sechín Alto. So I stopped to get some drone footage and to see if there might be a clear path to the location I wanted to get to. In this drone footage of Sechín Alto, you can see just how much still remains to be excavated. I kept trying to make my way to the pyramid complex, but was running into a variety of construction along the riverbed, which wasn't providing a way through.
Alright, well, there was supposed to be a path through, but I can't find it. But there's supposedly some pyramids right there, some pre-Columbian pyramids. So I am going to get the drone up in the air and see if I can A, see the pyramids, B, see if there's a path through.
You can see how vast this particular complex is, and it's just one of a number of many sites in this valley, which has some estimates putting the population size at around 23,000 people. The drone helped me find a navigable path through the valley to make it to the site.
This is pretty epic here. A whole complex of pyramids.
You can see two of the pyramid structures here in the background. I was making my way to what seemed to be the largest pyramidal structure in the complex. You can see it here in the distance, nestled between these two other ones.
I want to go up top to this one right here.
So far, the data suggests that ceramics in these valleys toward the coast began around 1800 BCE, which coincides with the dates attributed to much of the architecture in the valley.
The pottery shards.
But within the past decade, archaeologists have found and excavated monumental architecture attributed to much earlier cultures. These structures were found buried underneath some of the ancient ruins that we can see today.
There's bones.
And so a much clearer picture is being formed, indicating that the ceramic producing cultures of the Sechín Valley were building on top of structures inherited from their predecessors.
Looks like people dug right into the top of it. It's a pretty big pit. Another pyramid structure right there.
You could see more pyramidal structures in the distance here overlooking the valley, including that Sechín Alto site that we saw earlier. Flying the drone, I was able to see a Ministry of Culture designation at the site.
Site of Taukachi-Konkan. You can see in the distance there's more pyramids there.
This was a majestic, massive site, and I couldn't help but wonder what it might have looked like thousands of years ago. You can see that agricultural farming has started to push right up against the site itself. Fortunately, for the time being at least, it seems to just be along the periphery. But if you've seen some of the other videos on this channel, you know just how precarious that can be, as agricultural expansion is one of the largest threats to archaeological sites in Peru. Some of the oldest sites here in the Casma Valley were dated to around 1800 BCE. But that all changed in 2008 when a groundbreaking discovery was made underneath the archaeological site of Sechin Bajo. Archaeologists uncovered a sunken circular plaza built of stone and adobe, and radiocarbon dates have put this construction circa 3500 to 3000 BCE, arguably making it one of the oldest monumental structures in the Americas. Well, if you're familiar with some of the sites we've covered here on the channel, that sunken circular plaza feature, it should ring a bell. And that's because almost 200 kilometers away in the Supe Valley is the ancient sacred city of Caral. And all the pyramid structures that were being built here had this sunken circular plaza feature. The Caral Supe culture has been labeled as being the oldest stone monument building civilization in the Americas. But the earliest dates actually don't come from the sacred city of Caral itself. They come from a site just a bit further north in the Fortaleza Valley. 2 valleys to the north of Caral is a site called Huaricanga. Radiocarbon dates have suggested that the site was established around 3500 BCE, several centuries before the sacred city of Caral. During the 2024 expedition, I was able to explore the sites here in the Fortaleza Valley, particularly Cerro Provenir and Caballete. I'll put a link to those videos in the description below, but both of those sites had pyramid structures with sunken circular plazas, just like the sacred city of Caral and what was found even further to the north in the Casma Valley. So it would now appear that we have very similar earliest occupation dates, approximately 3500 BCE at the Huaricanga site and at the Sechin Bajo site. But the dating of Sechin Bajo is appearing to be just slightly older, and that's because the plaza that was found underneath the current site of Sechin Bajo, well, there was something else underneath of that. Archaeologists discovered a frieze on a lower layer which contained etchings and carvings. The samples taken from this layer dated back to 3600 BCE. I'll link all the published papers down in the description below so you can check them out for yourself. All of this has the potential to change and reshape what we know about the cultural origins and evolution of the civilizations that once lived here in these regions. Who influenced who? Where did these civilizations start? Were they in the north and migrated downwards, or were they in the south and migrated north? Or were the sites along these valleys part of the same widespread civilization? One that was much more interconnected than we previously thought. Well, discoveries are continuing to be made, and archaeologists are hard at work excavating and researching many of the sites in these regions, so it might only be a matter of time until we have some of these answers. I'm working on being in contact with some of the archaeologists in these valleys, and hopefully we can get some of them on the channel to discuss their findings and their research. If you happen to be one of these archaeologists and want to share your work, definitely please reach out to the channel. There are a ton of discoveries that are continuing to happen in Peru all over the country, and I plan to stay on top of them to bring you the news as it's released. And the next expedition for Pillars of the Past is planned for the end of this year to go back into Peru to document and capture even more mysterious and difficult to get to, little known and unknown archaeological sites. This expedition could use all the help it can get. There's a GoFundMe that I'm linking in the description below. Truly, every little bit helps, and I'm working on creating a set of rewards and benefits for anyone who is able to contribute to show you how much I appreciate it and thank you for the support. Definitely put any thoughts or questions in the comments section below. I'm always interested to hear what you all have to say. And please put a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, it'll help the channel continue to grow. And to members of the channel here and on Patreon, well, stay tuned to those in the next couple of weeks because I have a lot of content I'm getting ready to upload to those platforms. So, as always, thank you for watching, thank you for being a part of this community, and I'll catch you in the next video.